Good morning, kia ora, happy 1st of September. I wanted to do this quick video to reach out to all ascending empaths out there who either don't know that this is going on or they need to be warned about what will happen once they have their ascension. So basically I made two observations when I was having my ascension that either people don't know about or there's no awareness raised about this situation. Sorry. I technically stepped into my ascension in the 19th of October 2018 when an event happened in my life where I had to choose how I was going to deal with it. And I stepped into my Wick side and used my occult connection to help me deal with the trauma, and there started my ascension. It's been almost a year since I stepped out of the shadow. It was the end of September I started, and the first week of October is when I stepped out, and my new life began, and Phoenix rising and blah blah blah. And these two observations that I made that need to be made aware of for those who are on a path to ascension, that will help and protect them on their journey. So the first observation I made is that in your social group, the first one to ascend, for those who are, in master makery relationships where you are supportive of each other, you share the same morals and ethics and, that sort of thing. The ones who do everything with, the purest of intent, they have the ascensions as well. They seem to jump in on the slipstream of the one who's going first. Those who are light of heart, where their heart is light, the one who goes first seems to bear the cross for the ones to follow, by which I mean, one of the observations I made when I was dealing with my shadow, when I was doing my shadow work, is that a lot of my memories and emotions and thoughts of the traumas that I was dealing with turned out not to be my own. And it wasn't until after, sorry, I'm uploading something. It wasn't until after I had my ascension and I was talking to my friends about some of the weird memories that I was having, that they were saying, well, no, that happened to me when I was a kid. Or, no, that was my life. And I started to realise that as a time jumper, when I was going through my shadow, as an empath, you absorb the energy around you, but as a time jumper I was also absorbing the memories of the people that I had around me as well. And by me dealing with the traumas, it helped them deal with the trauma as well. Like, it removed the trauma for them because I was able to understand it first and work my way around how to deal with the trauma. I was then able to pass that on to them. So then they were able to remove the trauma completely from their life without having to actually deal with the issue themselves. And when you're going through it, you think you're going mad because you're taking on lives and traits and thoughts and feelings that aren't your own. And nobody understands, like, you don't understand what's going on because you kind of live two minds. Dr. Jordan Peterson calls it the split of two psyches, but you live it at once, and it's very confusing. And what I observed is that when that happens, when you are taking on the thoughts and memories and pain and suffering that don't make sense to you, it's because you're bearing the cross, you're carrying the load for someone who is going to follow your slipstream. 5 of my friends have ascended since I've had my ascension, and all their ascensions were quicker than mine and less painful. They figured things out a lot faster because I was able to hand them the information that they took with them on their journey. So when they were going through their shadow side, they already had the answers because I'd given it to them in our conversations. So it made their ascensions quicker and less painful and easier to understand and handle. which is beautiful. I mean, if the hell that I went through lightened the load for 5 of my friends, then it was well worth it, because these friends of mine are exceptionally charitable people. They're people who serve the community in their careers. They're selfless, they're very giving, they are pure of heart. They are people who have stood by me through thick and thin, and even when they were going through their shadow sides, when they were going through their anger and their fear, and they were lashing out at me because I understood what was going on, I didn't judge them for it. And I just walked alongside them and waited patiently until they stepped out of the shadows. And the last 2 have just done that sort of just recently and within the last month. The other 3 were February, March and May, I think. So one was October, one of them was February, one was March, one was May, one was sort of July, August, and one was like this week. So, that's pretty awesome. So you need to be aware of that when you're going through an ascension. If you're the first to have your ascension in your group, and you're taking on thoughts and memories and feelings that don't make sense when you're in the shadow self, it's because you're bearing the cross, you're carrying the load for the friends that are to follow. And it means that they will follow. Please remember as well that just because you're ascending doesn't mean you can't descend as well, because every choice and decision and action you make decides whether you go up or down. And your ascension doesn't stop once you hit the ethers. It just recycles and goes round and round until you've lightened your load enough that you have nothing left to bear. So your final ascension is usually that the path that you live when you're allowed to step into your world or global power. The other observation I made is a more serious one, and it is one that 3 of the 6 of us have reported now that people need to be made aware of if they are on a path to ascension, and that is something that I lovingly call the Doppelganger effect. It is more commonly called the glitch in the matrix, but I call it the Doppelganger effect because it is called mimicry. And those who are on a path of ascension will have to deal with mimics. The reason why you need to be made aware of this is because a mimic is a psychopath. Okay, it is a psychopathic trait. And if you look at what a psychopath is, it's basically someone who's a blank canvas. They don't know how to think, they don't know how to feel, they don't show empathy, they don't know how to show emotion. So they mimic the surroundings of somebody that they see as a threat or a challenge in order to gain attention. The mimic is someone who will copy everything you say, everything you do, from the way you dress, the way you act, the way you speak, what you say, what you do, what you bring out, what you discover, what you think, what you feel, what you wear, your body language, the way that you move your head, the way that you laugh. They will mimic everything you are because they either see you as a challenge or a threat, because you're taking attention away from them, and a psychopath needs the attention. So if you come in and say, look, I've got this pair of earrings I found in a market for £5, I'm well chuffed, they'll find the same pair of earrings, but then they'll have to tell everybody that they cost 300 quid. They have to show off. They have to show off who they are, like it's a smoke and mirrors effect. Look at me sort of thing. If people think you're say if you're sexy, they'll be sexual. They'll do all the things that they know you won't do in order to get the attention from the people who are looking at you, to gain the power, because they think it's a one-up thing. If you come out with an item of clothing that people compliment you for, they'll wear the same thing but add stuff to it in order to get extra. One of my friends got a little bit of money in compensation. It wasn't a lot, but she didn't feel that she had the right to have it, so she donated it to charity. Her mimic, her doppelganger, donated more money to the same charity but donated to another charity as well, and then had to talk about it on social media. So my friend did a big event, her friend did an even bigger event, but then had to talk about it on social media and get more important people involved and have better caterers at the party and have a better band and, that sort of thing. One of my friends got a tattoo that she'd been saving up a year and a half to have, and it absolutely gorgeous tattoo in memory of someone that she'd lost, and her mimic got the same tattoo in the same place, but it cost more and was bigger, but for someone that she loved more. It is a psychopathic trait. Psychopaths don't know how to think and feel for themselves, so they become parasites to those around them that they see have traits or abilities or skills or gifts that are better than theirs. But see, we know what we know from experience, and you have two kinds of mimics. You have the shapeshifter and then you have the doppelganger. And the shapeshifter, it gets a dirty word, but a shapeshifter is just someone who knows how to assimilate to their surroundings. They're multifaceted. They have many aspects and sides to their personality. That means it doesn't matter where you throw them, in whatever social situation, they'll know how to handle themselves with the people they're around, even if they're not from the same social group, because their life experiences will have taught them. You can be with rugby players, you can be with mechanics, doctors, nurses, psychiatric nurses, teachers, biker gangs, whatever, because your life has taught you through having experiences with the people you've met and crossed paths with, how to deal with them. So, you can fit into your surroundings, and that can be a threat for a psychopath. Because they don't have the same experiences, because they don't have emotions and empathy, and they're not pure of heart like a creative empath is. We suffer because we take on the suffering of those around us, and we have lives that have taught us nothing but pain. So while we're trying to discover ourselves and have our ascension, the psychopath doesn't understand all of that, because they are a blank canvas. They live a complete entire life not being able to paint their own canvas. They have to click and paste somebody else's artwork onto their own canvas and claim it as their own, because they don't know how to be and think and feel for themselves. And psychopaths are exceptionally good at manipulating the people and situations in their lives in order to get maximum attention. So whatever they do, where they are copying the person that they are being parasitic to, they will do it more and better and need to talk about it in order to get attention. A psychopath can't not get attention. When you look at John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer, how he dressed up as a clown, he hid behind that mask of a clown. Classic psychopath, classic doppelganger. John Wayne Gacy, not John Wayne Gacy, sorry, I said him. Ted Bundy as well. He was exceptionally good at being a mimic to his surroundings, and he used to do things like put plaster casts on his arm to fake having a broken arm in order to get attention from the people around him and lure his victims in. So a doppelganger, or if you have a mimic, they will, if you talk about a trauma that you've had, they will then talk about a trauma they had, but it will be more traumatic, more painful, harder for them to deal with, and they will pull at people's heartstrings in order to gain sympathy away from the person that was originally being looked at. They will do anything and everything they can to draw attention away from the one they are being parasitic to, in order to draw attention to themselves. So that's why they copy the person, but they will be more, they will be extra. If people think you're a nice person and you're kind, they will be kinder and sweeter and more innocent and more pure. If you are, gregarious and loud, they will be the fool and life and soul of the party. It's a very scary trait. Two of my friends have had a really, really hard time dealing with the mimic in their lives, but I was able to show them how to deal with it, and they're both dealing with it really, really well now. But before, it was like it's not a nice thing to have to deal with. It is a freaky, scary kind of like something out of a horror movie sort of situation that you have to deal with. When you see someone, it puts you into a state of It doesn't matter what I say or what I do, being me, this person's going to copy me. And it's not a nice feeling to have, but because I knew how to deal with my situation, I was able to teach my friends how to deal with theirs as well. Two of them are dealing with it really well. One of them's still kind of, not, but we're getting there. So I just wanted to put it out there because it is a very real situation, and you need to be careful with these people, because once attention starts being pulled away from them, they will take drastic measures in order to get it back, even if it means becoming violent and aggressive and emotionally manipulative. They will become abusive and aggressive, and they will use bullying tactics and emotional manipulation in order to draw attention back on themselves, because negative attention is better than no attention at all. And you need to be careful, because these are the sort of people that, should you try to walk away, they'll take a knife to your throat. So, and I'm not joking. I really am not joking. You can look it up. Psychopaths are expert mimickers, and they will do whatever they can and whatever they have to draw attention away from the one they see as a threat, in order to gain it for themselves, even if it means using smoke and mirrors, or using manipulation and threats and acts of violence and abuse. So be very, very careful, my ascending empaths. If you need any advice or help on how to deal with it, I'm here, okay? That's what I'm here for. So just, hold your head up high. You just follow that light. Just remember, light is right, okay? And you can't fake light. If the light is in you, you can't fake it. That's where they lose power, is that you can't fake the light that is within you naturally. You can't fake that pure intent. Your pure heart can't be faked. Eventually they will get found out. And as long as you don't give them power, and for those of you that I know that have dealt with it, and I know that you watch these, my secret squirrels, I've told you what to do. I've told you how to shut it out. So I'm here if you need me, and just hold your head up high and just keep following that light. Don't let anyone take your power away. Do what you know is right, because right is light and light is right. Okay? So happy 1st of September. I love you. Mwah.